I want you to pay attention to this because this is good for our people. Give the full participation for black people, people of color, right? This is it. Vote yes on 2.
Simply, ranked choice voting would revolutionize the way in which people vote.
And it has a disproportionately positive impact on candidates from underserved communities, whether that be women, whether that be, black, indigenous people of color across the spectrum. It gives us much more opportunity to have real and accurate representation. And when you look at the legislature as a 200-member body, and you look at the demographics of the state, they don't match up. And this is one of the reasons that people like me, I think, are so on board with bringing this to the table so that we can see more representation, so that we can have a legislature that looks like the Commonwealth that it represents and the Commonwealth that it makes laws for. What ranked choice voting does is it allows you to rank your preference of candidates from top to bottom, and then if no one gets to that 50% plus one threshold that you need, to really consider yourself to have a mandate from the people, the person who's at the lowest level there drops out, and their votes are then reapportioned to the other folks who are remaining on the ballot.
With ranked choice voting, civility would come in place.
Right.
More civility, more niceness, and less meanness.
Yeah.
And how is that? And how that would happen is because voter candidates would have to reach a broad base appeal in order to win.
Every person should go out on November 3rd and vote yes on 2 to provide our communities with more voice, to provide more representation, better diversity. And look, you want to make it practical and real. Think of the conversations that have been happening over this summer around the issue of police reform and how that impacts particularly black communities and black and brown communities across the state. Having more representation, having more vehicles to enact and get more representation at places like the State House has a real world effect on who is there making those discussions, going to the mat and fighting for the kind of reforms that we're calling for that we know are needed to make our communities feel respected, whole, and safe. And that is why ranked choice voting, it's not just a theoretical, political science exercise for me. This is something that has real practical impacts on my life as a black man in the city. This has real practical impacts on my neighbors, on my daughters. And so I think it's very, very important that we do each and everything that we can to enfranchise and to increase the diversity among our elected officials.
This is it. Vote yes on 2 on November 3rd.